Hi, it's John Murphy here, and welcome to another podcast in the Winning Teams series. Today's guest is a very interesting lady, Linh Podetti, who is the founder of Outsourcing Angel, which is an organization that does kind of what it says on the tin, in the sense that it finds you outsourced resources. Lynn founded the organization a number of years ago and it's been really successful. I mean, for the people that really want to look to how to leverage their time to find people who can do work in different areas that, is going to free them up to really drive their businesses and drive their teams and focus on what they should be focused on. This is an interesting podcast because it tells you the sort of things that you can outsource, how you go about doing it. But what Outsourcing Angel does is that it takes all the hardship out of finding those resources because they do that bit and they will find them, they will hire them, they will also train and develop them, and they will look after all of the stuff that you don't really want to handle, like the HR issues and salaries and wages and reviews and all that sort of stuff. But they will really help you to find the individual resource if you're looking for a VA or to build a team. What you will find in this podcast is the wisdom that Lynn has really acquired over the years in terms of her own experience of outsourcing. What are the pitfalls? What are the things you're going to learn? How to go about doing it? How to be really clear about your requirements? And then how you can onboard them with the help of Outsourcing Angels. So really informative, really helpful. And I think it'll also help you to get over that mental block of letting go of some of the things that we hold on to that we really could get other people to do and can leverage our time. So head on over, listen to the podcast. If you want to get the download of the ebook that I wrote a short time ago, the 10 Key Traits of Top Business Leaders, which is written in a way that you can consume over a lunchtime, then go to my website, johnmurphyinternational.com. Go there and you can download that instantly. But in the meantime, sit back and enjoy the conversation with Linh Podetti. Lynn, thank you so much for joining me on the Winning Teams podcast. I know that it's evening time in Sydney, but thank you for really making the time to do this.
No worries. I'm grateful to be here with you.
Yes, and it's great. Maybe just give a little bit of background, because I know you're a little bit of a serial entrepreneur, but you might give a little bit of background in terms of how you came to setting up Outsourcing Angel and what you did before.
Sure. I've always dreamt of being a businesswoman as a kid, but had no idea how. Don't have a sort of entrepreneurial family background that would guide me. So, I went to the typical path of university, got a great job after uni, and worked for a corporation. And during that time, though, I did have a kid at the age of 20. And so I realized the struggle of parenting and holding a job. And so I just really got frustrated with the inflexibility of a job, a 9-to-5 job, having to drop off my son really early, pick him up really late. And so at a young, 20-something years old, I was like, this is not my life. I really need to do something. And so, it was my motivation to actually make it happen, making the business idea happen. And I didn't have any idea. When you don't know what you don't know, you just don't know how to even get started. But a friend of mine gave me a few nail polish bottles because he was like a beauty supply store. And I just thought, why don't I just brand this and turn it into my own brand of nail polish? And, every girl wears nail polish, right? I'm going to make $1 million in the first year easily, right? So very delusional. So then I just got started, learned how to even create a marketing plan, business plan, and got a website done and all that stuff. And that was my journey into just learning, sort of on the job, learning how to start a business, learning marketing. But with limited money, I then stumbled across outsourcing, because when I was outsourcing to Australian companies, I quickly ran out of money. When I got a website done for $3 or $4 grand, And I even had to throw it away because they built it on a proprietary platform that I couldn't keep. And so that was a mistake that I learned. And with limited money and, with the long path to, continue with this business, I had to just source a cheaper way to do it. And so I came across, offshore people who I can outsource SEO work to or content writing to. And so, of course, I quit my job, threw myself into this business, realized I had no passion for this at all. I wish a mentor asked me, do you even love nail polish? Because, if it's really just the money, then do something else. But of course, I didn't know that. And so I was looking for the next opportunity, and I definitely didn't want to go back to a job. So went out there networking and realized that I was sharing advice about marketing and business. Because, in that year of trying to do mine, I've accumulated this knowledge, and I still was not smart enough to turn it into a business yet. It was just giving away free advice. Well, why don't you do it like this? Here's a person you can do it with. But luckily, one person said to me, can you project manage it for me? Can you do it for me? And so I said, okay. And that turned into a client. And then I realized I had to do a business because I was like making money from project managing marketing projects. And so a few years into that agency, first business that not first, but the successful business that I made money in, I then thought, why don't I change the model so it's easier, where I remove myself from that model. The business owner works with the marketing staff from the Philippines or from overseas, cheaper, right? Cheaper than they're paying me, because then I don't have to be the middleman going, this is what the client wants, here's what you need to do, and then being that middleman, which I would have charged more for that. And so it's been such a easier business model, and it's been a 10-year in the making of this whole entrepreneur path of mine.
It's interesting because one of the things that you find for a lot of people who kind of go down that path of kind of the entrepreneurial and setting up your own business, but very often what they find is that a couple of years down the road, they've actually built themselves a much more constraining job that is all consuming, and you at a very young age realized that you actually needed to remove yourself from that and not to be your own bottleneck, effectively.
Yeah. So also I had a lot of services that were once-off projects, a web project or a logo or things like that. And I just realized how stressful it is to keep trying to get new clients. So I didn't really like that model either. It wasn't recurring. And then, project managing, I just knew that it was, me being the project manager, but even if I had more money to hire more project managers, it was still a lot of client management that I didn't enjoy that part of the business. So what I realized is that you should always look at, find something that's just least resistant. What do you actually enjoy in that business, and try to change it somehow.
Yeah. I mean, so you set up Outsourcing Angel, what was it, 2015, was it?
Yeah, around there, yeah.
Yeah, 2015.
Officially. The idea came a lot earlier, but then when you're caught up in your first business that is making you money, you just don't have time to even pursue your idea that will be better. So then finally in 2015 was like, okay, I better go ahead now.
Okay. Yeah. So just so that people understand it, what exactly is the model that you have, and why would somebody come to Outsource Angel?
Okay. So we help business owners actually build a reliable virtual team. So that's why we only help them hire like part-time or full-time. Part-time meaning like 20 hours or 40 hours. The reason for that is that we want people to see that it's not just outsourcing. It's not just trying to get one task done, because it's really about building a team that you can rely on that will grow with you. Because that's where you get the benefits from. When someone works with you for years on years, that's when they will know inside out. They're going to follow your mission and be there whenever you need them at between a certain time and certain time. Because when it comes to outsourcing, working offshore, a lot of people start off with just, working with freelancers on a project base, and they really never reap the true benefit of it. And so, I wanted to be able to provide that for clients so that free them up from having to recruit, because you go out there are so many platforms that you can find people. You post up a job and then there's so many people that apply for the work. And so, with recruitment, even if you're trying to recruit someone local, it's a lot of work, right? Trying to find the right person. And then if it doesn't work out, you got to do it again. And so we enjoy doing that part, the whole recruitment part. But then we also realize that it's not just about finding the person. It's about how do you actually make it work. So we help onboarding, we help with performance review, we'll make sure that managing both of the parties to make sure that they're both happy with each other. We even do extra things like company trips, Christmas activities, things that a freelancer usually don't get that, because if they're just a freelancer, they're on their own. So we're in a way just trying to make it a better environment for these freelancers. But still, we're just a matchmaking company that goes, freelancer, here's a client you work with, you belong to this client. Still, it's a contractor, so you can still free to let them go when you need to go. But while you're together, it's a happy relationship.
And why is it, do you think, that? Because very often I find having conversations with people that say, oh yeah, I really should outsource that, but there's something that kind of holds them back. What do you think it is? Is it about letting go? Is it about giving away control? Is it about, what do you find as being the impediments for people to actually do it?
Yeah, it's a bit of all that, because you tend to go, because especially if you can do the task, right? Well, if you can't do something, then you're forced to outsource or forced to hire someone. But when you know how to do something, like you know how to post your own content on social media, because it's easy, and if you know how to write something, it's easy. So then you know, if I just do it, I'll save money. I can't be bothered teaching someone, or they might not know as much as me, or I'm better than them. So there's all these limiting beliefs that is, just making you stay still. But then you have to realize that at the end of the day, if you want to grow, you're going to need people. So, you're going to have to take that leap. It's like even as simple as having a cleaner at home, right? It's like, you think you can just do the cleaning or just be quick, another 10 minutes here, 10 minutes there, but you don't realize that all those cleaning hours equals hours of your time that you should be doing more higher value things and freeing your mind, and you get more peace and happiness so you can spend time with your family. But it's those, they just think that, well, because I can do it, I just might as well do it. And then they end up going, I never have time to, yeah.
I think for me also, one of the things that I've found, because I would be a fan of outsourcing, and I do outsource, and I have people who work with me on an outsourced basis. But one of the things that I found is that it put a discipline upon me about being really clear about what it is that I want. But also, I think the other side of it, which is, is quite different to that, but is very important, is being really clear about the processes to do tasks. So you do map those out. So you build that. So you end up with quite a strong kind of almost like a procedures manual for your own business.
Yeah, and so that is what it needs to, if you want to grow your business, that's the kind of discipline and knowledge you're going to have to do. And so you might as well learn it with an offshore team. They're much more affordable. And of course, because you're working online, yes, you have to use tools such as screencast tools, a video call like this to actually train your team. But, don't get me wrong, you don't have to have every single process nut out before you actually outsource. I find that whenever I'm even getting into something new, I even just, start to offload parts of that job and then have that person working with me, and then they help me to draft up the process as well as we go. Because sometimes we're like new to something too. We don't even have a clear process for ourselves, but we definitely know that we need help because we're having to do the work. And so that's why it's really important to have a dedicated person working with you rather than just outsourcing a task. So when you have someone dedicated, you know that they're there those hours, you're like, almost like, just help me this, help me that, and then eventually they develop their role properly too.
Well, if you look at the outsourcing, there are, as you say, there are platforms you can go to find individual contractors, or you can go to somebody like yourselves. Why? And I know this might be difficult. Well, no, I was going to say difficult for you to answer. I'm sure it isn't difficult for you to answer.
Yeah.
But in all honesty, why go to Outsourcing Angel rather than another company?
Okay, so when I first started outsourcing, I made so many mistakes, right? I went on a platform, chose someone that was cheap, and they said they can do the work, but then they couldn't, right? And I just made so many mistakes that I know that many people like me have made those mistakes. So of course, if you want to learn how to outsource, you're going to take more time to outsource properly. If you're a busy business person and you just want to get your shit done, if I can swear, your work done, you just want to get focused on what you do best rather than the whole recruitment of the person. And at the end of the day, it's still an HR sort of matter. So, you know that when it comes to people, there could be, maybe performance issues, or there could be just, I don't know, personal leave that they need to do. So we're there as a HR department managing that for them. So for example, we have a client that's like, my VA is about to give birth, she's on maternity leave. What can I do? Then we even help them facilitate, get a temporary VA, or help them hire a new VA. So we also do rehire. And like I said, it's a lot of, especially we serve small business owners. They're already busy enough, let alone trying to create a culture or a work environment that's fun for the VAs. So for us, like I said, we do reward programs, bonuses and games and things to keep them entertained, to keep them interested in work, because if they're motivated at work, they'll do a great job and they'll stay around. So that is the values that we bring into the equation.
Yeah, I think it's also I think from a business owner's perspective, it's the comfort that, that's an organization like yours, like Outsourcing Angel, that you're actually protecting the business owner from somebody leaving, somebody getting sick, somebody, as you say, maternity leave, all the kind of the practical issues that come about. But also, you spend quite a bit of money on training and developing your people. So that is an added bonus. I'm just wondering, when you were building businesses using the outsource model, from that perspective, what did you see as being the biggest challenge for you in getting outsourced people?
It's just time, like you just need to put time in posting a job, then going through, filtering through, interviewing, then testing them out, and then seeing if they're good or not. And so it's really time consuming. Eventually, even though you know how to pick the right person, it just takes a lot of time. And people don't have that time. People just don't love recruitment the way I do, or loving the management of people as much as we do at our company. So so that's why we do what we do. And because some small business owners do go and outsource themselves because it's cheaper, but then they realize that by paying a bit more, you don't have to spend years of learning something. Just like nowadays for us as business owners, if I want to learn how to get onto YouTube, instead of trying to learn by myself now, I just paid a coach and I did an online course program, and I just want to buy the information as fast as I can and the service, so that I can get the results much faster.
Yeah, I was just smiling to myself because I was thinking back a number of years ago. I remember I went down kind of that individual route of finding somebody, and I went through, and I don't like the interviewing process. I don't like that kind of recruitment process. I find it very painstaking and painful. But I did go through it, so I got lots of applications. I kind of filtered. I did all of the things that I was told to do, and all of the right things, and gave people little projects and got them to come back and doing it, and then ended up in hiring one, and was very, very delighted. And they never turned up.
Oh, there you go. So look at it like, so look at it like you've almost just got this extra resource, me as a HR manager, that you don't have to pay for, to just to do it again for you. So
I remember thinking, I am never ever doing that again. So it is. But one of the things I'm interested, because a lot of the work that I do is with teams. I know that, you in terms of your own organization, in terms of Outsourcing Angel, you've got, very strong values in terms of, you talk about things like freedom and honesty and happiness and giving back. And I know that giving back is an important value within your business, which is great. And you might just talk a little bit about what you do there. But I suppose my question is, how do you get those values to come alive within the business? Because you have your teams or your individuals, I presume, or a lot of them work from home. They don't come into your office to work, do they?
Yeah, we're all home based because we're on a mission to actually create home based jobs. Yes,
exactly. So they're all in their own homes, they're not coming together. How do you then get that? How do you get buy-in to the values when you've got that model?
So of course, I could do, a Zoom call like this, like a meeting. So every month, one of our practices that I do is I do a CEO update, a monthly CEO update, where I'm sharing with them about the successes and things that we're planning for next month. I'm welcoming new members and really showing my personality through it. And we have a company trip every single year that we do catch up in person. And there's just all these activities that we do and bonuses that we do that we show that we care. It's not just like saying that we have all these values but have no activities or no actions that show it. So there are ways to show it. Like I said, just because I don't see them in person, the video, and we use Facebook Live or Zoom, everyone gets together in a Zoom call to all unite in that way. You know, I've always tried to be myself. When I became a leader and started my business, I always knew my values, like myself. Like I'm that kind of person that cares or love or generous. So when I'm hiring, I'm always looking for that kind of person. Like I would never look for someone that is great talent, but just show that they were dishonest or had this flaw in personality that didn't suit me. So I was quite strong in my principle and who I hire. So then when we hire the right people, we also share and spread that mission, that message to them. So then they know that, you know, that's the kind of company that, you know, the same kind of people gather together in this company. And nowadays with the mission, you know, they know that we talk about our charity projects, which we're very strong about. We redonate the money to charity projects and things. So when VAs that are coming in, they see our mission, they know that they want to join because they want to be part of that mission too. So it's, you know, it really serves us as, you know, recruiting the right people who has the same value, but also want to join our mission to help their own community. Yeah.
You might just expand so that people understand. You do. You're very specific in terms of the charities that you kind of donate to. Just maybe explain that a little bit.
Yeah. So we've got a volunteer group in the Philippines who just happened to be a group of friends that decided one day to change their life. They actually came from gangster life to this volunteer life to serve back. And they are actually the cousin of one of our staff member that we knew, you know, 6-7 years ago. And so we started just donating money to them because they needed money to do. And so over the years, we just, you know, of course, the more we grow, the more we increase the spending. But the best part about it is with working with this group of volunteers, every dollar that we give them goes straight to the people in need. So they actually trek up the mountains where normal organizations do not go there because it takes 4 or 5 hours to get up to the mountains. And I personally went there 2 years ago and I just died. Like I was like, oh my God, it's so hard. It was just like raw trekking, right? I could have fallen down the mountains because it wasn't like a trekking path where you go. It was just like people, you know, climbing up the mountains. And so we've been fortunate enough to know this group of volunteers who pretty much is like our extended army of people that are in the Philippines, going up to the mountains to provide things like we purchase solar panels, water supplies, even buy them pigs so that they could actually just, you know, build a normal life. So these people, they need basic supplies. So we've got those people that we help. However, we also partner with foundations. So there is a Balani Foundation, for example. They're a French company started by a French guy. And they have all the orphan kids or kids that come from a disadvantaged family. And so for the past, I don't know how many years now, but we've been providing computer training, teaching them about the online work, because if we could help them, you know, with their career in life, then they can actually support themselves and
fantastic.
Yeah, change their life. So yeah, we help them in a different way than the people that are up in the mountains.
That's great. I think what you're doing is great. Can I talk a bit about teams? Because obviously, you know, my fascination is around teams, and a lot of the work I do is with leaders and leaders of teams and the teams themselves. And just one of the things I'm curious is how do you create a team? Because you've got all of these individuals working from home. So how do you go about building them into an effective team rather than just a bunch of individuals?
Yeah. Okay. So thank God for tools such as Slack. So we used to use Skype, but now we're on Slack. And so Slack, it's just this online version of an office. So we have a channel for for everybody. So once they join us, they're like in this Slack group, and it feels as if you're like you're going into the office with everyone sitting around. So every day when people come in, you know, we all say hello, good morning. It's our channel of chatting. And the other thing that I did recently, which I was really proud of, and it's really changed, even improved further the culture, is I created a channel called Daily Reflection. So every single morning, as a rule, everyone comes in and there's an automated question that says, what are the 3 things you're grateful for? And so everyone's been sharing the 3 things they're grateful for, because I've been doing gratitude for the last 10 years and my life has really changed because of that. And so it's just taken me a long time to actually implement it in the company. I was like, why didn't I do this earlier? And so I just made it almost like a compulsory thing. Well, not like I'm whipping them if they don't do it, but I make it as part of our process. So just seeing everyone, first thing they do is sharing, that I'm alive or I'm healthy or that whatever else. We really got to know each other, because we get a little taste about what's happening in their life through things that they're grateful for. And so, like the other thing that I said also is every month, I make sure that I'm present in the video. So I do a Facebook Live. So then all the VAs are like joining on, commenting while I'm talking, and I'm answering questions as they're going. And so the biggest thing that I was worried about going from a small group of people, working with a small team and then to a larger team, is losing the touch, feeling as if they're just coming in and they're just a number and they don't get a taste of me, I guess, And so I wanted to make sure that I always show them love. And so the other thing that I do now is I'm quite active on YouTube. I create a lot of content on YouTube, inspiring content about my success and my work-life balance and everything else, so that I can help more people, whether it's the team that I currently work with or even their family and friends that they could forward the video to watch to. So when you're online, you just need to think of a different way of spreading yourself, which really is like a video kind of thing.
Yeah, I love the gratitude. I love that gratitude piece, because I think that being grateful is a very underestimated and undervalued trait, because I think that, we all have a tendency to focus on the things that are not going well.
Exactly.
and forget the things that are going well. And I think if you have that kind of ritual of gratitude, then I think it really does make a huge difference in your life. Do you do that through Slack as a matter of interest?
Yeah. So I just created a
Interesting.
channel called Daily Reflection with an automated question that comes at a certain time. So then, no one has to remember to ask. And seriously, it's really has been life changing. Like I enjoy the process, because I'm doing it anyway for myself. I see a lot of positive impact on the people.
I think Slack is a great tool. I use Slack. I do think it's a great tool for communicating, and it's also a great way of actually keeping everybody in the loop that needs to be kept in the loop, and keeping people out of the loop that don't need to be in the loop, so that they're not clogging up. You're not clogging up. Because I hate in emails. I mean, email is a great tool, but I hate when I see people, what I think is abusing it, where everybody gets copied in on everything that they don't need to be copied in.
Yeah, that's right.
And
Exactly.
it's a pain in the neck.
Yeah.
The other side of kind of building a team, which I'm curious about, is that, okay, so, I can go to Outsourcing Angel. I can get a VA through you guys, which is great, but I can also build a team. Which is obviously something that you do. But one concern that people might have is that, okay, if I go to you to build a team, is it your team or is it my team? And is it going to be a team that reflects everything about you, which, and don't get me wrong, I'm not saying there's anything wrong with being reflected about you, but it's going to be different to me and what I stand for. How do you get over that issue, and how does it become my team as opposed to your team?
Sure. So although we do help you with onboarding, is really just to get you started with the VA, but it's really your VA. So, it's the only thing is we just help you hire these people, but they are the people that work directly with you. And of course, every day they're working with you, they don't really communicate with us. It's not like, although we're on Slack, that I said, it's really of a good morning, hello, I'm here online. But apart from that, we don't really get involved with the VA. We leave it for the VA and the client to enjoy that journey. And every client has their own tools and systems. So they might not be using Slack. They might be using Skype or using whatever tools they're using. They might be using their own project management tool. And whatever process they have, the VA and the client works together like that. It's not we don't imply our own process or tools on the client. So yeah, does that
Okay.
answer the
So
question? Yeah.
so it does become very much my team. And
Yeah.
I mean, what you look after all of the kind of the background, the admin, the payments, and all of that.
Yes.
You
Yes,
you
that's
look
right.
after all of that. So that's
That's
all the
right.
painful bit. Um,
Yes.
when you look at, or when clients are looking to outsource, and when perhaps they come and they have a conversation with you, what do you see as being the common mistakes that are get in the way of A, them doing it, but B, when they start doing it, to making it really work?
So sometimes they can get so overwhelmed with too many tasks that they don't delegate at all because I know that they're busy and that's why they came for a VA, but yet they sometimes get stuck with what task to give because they're trying to, yeah, they're overwhelmed with so many tasks that they're trying to do. So we always encourage them to start small and break it down. Like, rather than going, okay, I want my VA to do this, you really want to treat this as a long-term relationship and training process. So you want to overwhelm them as least as possible. So let's say they came in to help you with your LinkedIn, it's really starting off with going, okay, I want you to start posting this thing for me and get them posting and make it right first for the next few days, and then add on new tasks, because it will just become a much more, you're building a greater foundation than trying to hire someone and thinking that sometimes a client thinks that I'm going to hire this VA and then I sit there and do nothing and they're just going to know how to do everything for me. And they underestimate the time that you need to train someone. And, although these VAs come in with the right skills and software that you ask for, the beauty of it is that you come in, you go, I want someone that has this software and knows this and is this. We find you someone that already has that so that you could speed up the process of working well with them. However, they still don't know you. They still don't know your company. They still don't know how you actually do certain things. So it still takes time to build them up. And so then, set that expectation that I'm going to give it, 3 months of just really slow pacing it so that I could learn and grow with this person, and then breaking down the tasks, getting them well done on specific tasks within a task first, and then slowly, add on more of that rather than dumping them there and then sometimes too busy to even be there for them. And that's when it doesn't work.
Yeah. Okay. No, I think it's true, because I think that one also the advantages of working with you guys is that you give the client very, very clear direction as to how to optimize that relationship. So listen,
Yeah.
this has been great. Listen, before we wrap up, two questions I ask everybody. One is a
Yes.
book that you have read that has had an impact upon you, and why.
Okay. So one book that has been quite life-changing has been Your One Word by Evan Carmichael. So he's actually a YouTuber and I was following his content. Check it out. It's really good because he actually summarizes like all the success tips from successful people around the world, famous people everywhere. So really great bite-sized videos. But then his book really helped us to find our value. So for many years, we knew how we treated our staff. Internally, we had a lot of fun. We were loving, caring, fun, but we didn't really know how to define it, and nor did we know how to show it publicly. After reading the book, we realized that our one word, because it's all about trying to find what is one word that drives you, we found the word love. And it was such a perfect timing because I went to the Philippines and I was going to shoot some content and all that. But then luckily with that word love, I was able to come up with the slogan, come up with the ending of the video that really just, and even love sign, we were doing this love thing. So it became this consistent message that what we're doing is we live with love. We care about, we want you to do what you love. We do what you love. We love so that you do what you love. And even our signature, we wrote much love, blah, blah, blah. And so it just gives us clarity, knowing
Right.
that now I have this one word that we can drive a whole branding and our whole, I guess, almost behavior around. So I thought that was quite life-changing
That's
for our
great.
business.
That's a new one. What's the author's name again? Sorry, Evan, what was it?
Evan Carmichael.
Evan Carmichael. I haven't come across him.
Yeah,
That's one for me to have a look at, so I'm
yeah,
curious about that. Second
yeah,
question is that I'm always fascinated about daily rituals that successful people have, because my experience, they tend to have them. They can be different,
yeah.
but they tend to have them. And I'm always curious. So what are yours? I know
Okay,
gratitude is
so
one.
yeah. So about nearly 2 years now, I've been waking up at 4 a.m. So I started just yeah, I got inspired by someone and thought, everyone who's successful said they wake up early. And I saw someone that I know real life actually waking up that time, which gave me that belief that I can actually do it. And so that has been my most life-changing routine, where because I wake up at 4 a.m., I've got this extra 2-3 hours before my kids wake up, because I have small kids, 2 small kids. So then that time allowed me to add in the meditation, journaling, learning, working on my hardest task for the day first. And I've really seen a huge change in my business ever since I've done this routine. Without waking up this time though, I don't know how I would have been productive with my day, because if you're waking up at a normal time, you're already just doing a motherhood role, and then you're answering emails or doing the work. And so the 4 a.m. wake up call has been I guess my mind is so creative and so fresh that I have so much more better ideas and insights. And when I want to write something, it just comes out. If I try to write at like 10 a.m. or whatever, it's just not going to come out. So yeah, I guess my best routine is 4 a.m. wake up.
And has that just extended your day? I mean, are you just working longer hours than previously, or are you working shorter?
No, so I have to pick up my kids at 3 o'clock, 3:30. So that's when I stop. I don't work anymore. So it was good that when I did the 4 a.m., my kid didn't go to school at that time yet, so they were still going till 5. Luckily, I had that preparation of doing this 4 a.m. because when she started to go to primary school, I needed to wake up to pick her up at 3. I realized my day is so short now. Lucky I woke up early, otherwise I would have had 0 hours. And the other thing I wanted to add was, because I've already done my work in the morning, by 9:30 when I drop her off at school, I can then go to the gym. So I go for 1 hour in the gym, knowing that I've already done the important thing for the day. I can actually enjoy the gym session. Whereas if you haven't done any work yet, it's really hard to go to the gym. If you go to the gym at night, it's very unlikely you'll turn up to the gym because you're already exhausted. So
how does your hubby feel about the 4 a.m. start? Does he join you, or does
he doesn't love it because by 9 o'clock, 9:30, I'm in bed. He stays up till 11:30. 4 a.m. I wake up. And so, yeah, he feels a little bit lonely, but that's too bad. That is and I'm not just doing that for business. I actually get so much more happiness. The days that I don't wake up at 4 a.m., I'm actually not as happy. It becomes this new habit that if you don't do it, it's worse. Yeah.
Well, that's fascinating. That's great. That's super. Feel for your hobby a little bit on it, but I mean, apart from that, he just got to grin and bear it and get on with it. But I think I must say I would be a morning person. I'm not a 4 a.m., but I would be a morning person. And I think that, it depends on your body clock. But I think if your body clock works that way, it's just so much more productive because you get so much done before the phone starts jumping. So
that's all a limiting belief, I believe. I believe it's a limiting belief. A limiting belief that you need 8 hours. Limiting belief that you can't wake up at 4, because that's what I told myself before. But now I realize that it's all trained. Any habit, any behavior is all trainable.
Yeah, exactly. You just go to bed earlier. It's as simple as that.
Yeah,
so, I mean,
exactly.
that's all you've got to do. Yeah. Lynn, this has been fantastic. How can people reach out to you? How can they get in touch with you?
Sure. So my company website is Outsourcing Angel, so check it out. But of course, you can also find me on my own website, Linh Podetti. I'm all around LinkedIn, Instagram, Facebook. I'm pretty much everywhere. If you write my name in, you'll find me. So follow me on my journey.
Well, we'll put the links in the show notes so that people can get you there. But listen, can I just say thank you so much for joining me here today. It's been a real pleasure. Loved the interview. Love what you're doing, and continued success.
Thank you so much, John. I had so much fun, and love your questions.